Hey everyone, this is going to be a final review or overlook on the Team Associated Pro Rally car. This is something Team Associated came out with, I believe it was several months ago, about maybe in March, maybe a little bit earlier. But they released this as a rally car, and the platform is almost, or is actually exactly like the Pro Light 4x4 short course truck. But there are some slight differences in this car compared to the Pro Light, and I will point that out real quick. One thing I do want to mention, I didn't do a first look overview and unboxing of this, but the car was pretty good. I like the way it actually looked. Several things that when I was looking at this kind of stared me away once because one, most of you guys know I don't like short course trucks only because I don't like the huge bodies on cars. And this is no exception to the rule. The body is pretty large on here. I will show you guys in a few minutes a comparison between this size and an 8 scale buggy. But overall, the look of the car is actually pretty good. I like the way they have this wing back here, and this is actually plastic that's it's screwed into the bottom of the body. And when I take the body off, I'll show that to you. And of course it's detailed with a whole lot of stickers. Just makes it stand out a little bit more actually when you're driving it at the track and stuff. So let me go ahead and take this off. And while I'm getting these body pins off of here, my first impressions of driving this were pretty good. It's my first time actually having a rally car and driving it, and it was pretty good. One thing that I did not like, but I know it's what they were doing with this car, was it has an awful lot of body roll. You'll see it in some of my videos. Excuse me, when I took it to the track, it was a little bit difficult to get used to it first. So once I got used to it, I was able to drive it a little bit better. But it does have a lot of body roll, and I will take this off real quick and show you guys real quick that is screwed in right here for the wing, or the spoiler on the back of it. So this is actually plastic. So that actually I thought was pretty cool too. It's not just a piece of Lexan or something. It's either screwed in or try to mold it into the body. So anyway, that's that big body on. Take a closer look at the vehicle real quick. One thing that does, as I mentioned with the body roll, is that these posts, you see how kind of flabby they are? So when the truck goes into corners or you're turning pretty hard, it does tend to take the body to the left and right. So it does have a body roll. I know it makes it look more of a rally car look, but when you're driving, especially on a tight track, it will be a little bit more difficult. You have to get kind of used to this vehicle and the way it runs, because it does handle a lot different than some of the other cars and even some of the short course trucks. It does, as we know, when it flips over on its top, it does kind of flip back on its tires and wheels 9 times out of 10. So that is a plus. So real quick overview. This is different than a Pro Light in a couple different ways. Of course, the front bumpers constructed differently. You see the way they have this so that it can actually absorb more impact, which is good, because I did hit some walls with this and I did bash it pretty hard. And the same thing for the rear as well. So that was actually a very good thing and a plus on it. The tires, I was actually impressed with them. You can see they are pretty much worn down. This is a very soft compound, and I was actually impressed to see this type of compound come on a ready-to-run truck, because the tire compound was actually really good. I've probably put about 15 or more packs through this thing, running 2S and 3S, so that's kind of why they're worn down a lot more. One of the things I know on the Pro Light that I've seen in some of the videos that people complain about was the body post breaking, and what Team Associated did was go in and remake adjustable body posts and mounts, as you can see here. I didn't have any of these break as many times as I jumped, flipped, and rolled, so that is a plus, and I think that's a difference between the Pro Light and this one. So someone can probably go out and just purchase these because they are adjustable. You can adjust the ride height of those front and rear. Another thing was in the steering. I know on the Pro Light, turn it this way so you guys can see that, it had a lot of play in there. This doesn't have as much. I know on one of the Pro Lights, I saw somebody twiddling, and it did twitch more. So this one was actually pretty decent for what it's worth. The servo was actually pretty good too for ready to run. I was actually impressed with that. The only big problem I had with this, and it's not really an issue, but this ESC is so heavy. A lot of times at the track, I would jump and it would hit. And sometimes the chassis would slap and this ESC would come loose. So I do recommend that if you do get this, get some super strong double-sided tape, because this is going to come loose. I've taped this down several times and you see it's already coming loose. Part of it could be because of the heat from the motor, maybe getting on the actual stickiness of the tape and stuff and getting that to come loose. But this ESC is actually a lot heavier than normal ESCs as well, because it does have, as you can see there, a fan built into it. Didn't have any problems or trouble with any of the electronics. As you see, it does come with Dean's connectors, but I just created a quick Traxxas to Dean's connector there. This system does run 2 and 3S lipos, so I did run it with 2 and 3S lipos, and it is waterproof / resistant. So didn't rain over here for a couple of days, so I didn't get a chance to really test it out in the rain or anything, but I've seen reviews on this ESC before, and it is water resistant, so that is good. One thing that I would probably change with this is, if you got this and you were going to try to race it on a track, is to try to adjust this ride height some, because the body roll kind of will get on your nerves, because as you're jumping and turning, especially on a track that's got a lot of sharp turns, you will miss some of the turns, or you will turn too tight into it. It will be difficult when it gets really bumpy. Another thing would be the shocks. I would put some heavier weight in here, or maybe even put another spacer in the front and the rear, because the shocks are really soft. So that also helps it when it goes into the turns and corners to get more of that body roll or rally type of turning ability or look when it turns. So other than that, nothing broke on the car. I did run it pretty hard and bash it pretty hard. Didn't have any problems or issues with it at all. I know that it's been mixed reviews on the Pro Light Rally, but I have not had any issues with this. So I was pretty impressed to have it, and I did run it a lot. I may keep it and do one other conversion for it. I was thinking of converting this maybe to a monster truck, because the hexes are 12 millimeters on there, and these are actually the hex screws are actually standard. They're not that Associated. That's different than a lot of the other standards out there. I think these are all 2.0, or the majority of them are 2.0 or 2.5, which is good. One other thing, this motor is the Reed 3500 4-pole kV motor. I've had the 4000 before, and this one is actually very well too. So this whole system right here is pretty good. I know that the brakes are pretty good on here. The reverse has too long of a delay. I mean, I would sit there and I'd run into a wall and I'd have to hit reverse, and it would take at least 5 seconds or more for the car to actually go into reverse. I know why they did that, but maybe I can adjust some of the timing on that. But other than that, I haven't found any issues or problems with this at all. Let me show you just how large this is. This is my Tour Tracks buggy here, and this is the Pro Light body. See how large that is? I could actually probably put this on here and the body would still be bigger. You can kind of tell by the wheel wells. Let me put this over real quick. Show you guys this. I just thought that that was kind of funny how huge this body is, but so look at that right there. Now that would be nice if I maybe did a conversion and kept that low, something like that. But anyway, I don't think I have enough time to go through and do all that. But that is a quick review on the Team Associated ProRally rally car. Pretty good car for the price. It costs $379. Pretty much worth it, because it does also come with a nickel metal battery pack. It's a 7-cell 3000 milliamp. So I ran it with LiPo, and this does have 2 modes in, so I did go ahead and run this on LiPo. I didn't run it with the nickel metal because I didn't want to waste my time with that. So anyway, you guys have any questions or comments, please put them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have another rally car coming And hopefully it'll come tomorrow and I can show you guys what that is. That's the one I actually been waiting on and waiting to do a review on. Thanks again.